Senator Samson Cherargei, you have earned yourself a title of indefatigable warrior. I hope warrior in a good sense. Devolution warrior.
I'm the devolution warrior. And I am seeing, I need to, if you have seen the majority leader has acknowledged, as I second the bill, then I might also be a majority leader or a bigger person in future. So, Madam Speaker, thank you. Madam Speaker, as I second this bill, because there is no culture legal framework that has put in place, and I think this is a straightforward bill. Madam Speaker, we have identity, our culture. The culture defines who we are. It's a set of values, it's a set of moral issues, Madam Speaker, and the definition, the lifestyle, social interactions, social group, its value systems, traditions, beliefs, language, ideas, customs, code, institutions, works of art, rituals, and ceremonies, Mr. Speaker. Madam Speaker, you remember the other day, and I'm happy that the distinguished senator of Kakamega is here with us. Because when I was thinking of seconding this bill, the culture bill, I remember when, unfortunately, my condolences, unfortunately we lost the former MB of Lugari, Honorable Cyrus Jirongo. I had to follow online the distinguished senator of Kakamega performing serious ceremony as he went to view the body of the late Honorable Cyrus Jirongo. And I was amazed by the unique culture of the Luhya nation, the Mulembe nation. I saw him taking bulls, celebrating. You know, I was amazed on how Senator Kalwale was able, Madam Speaker, to do it. And I don't know whether, Madam Speaker, you had opportunity of watching. I had to watch the whole of it. And that is, this was a doctor. But because of culture, cultural beliefs, he was shaped by the culture. He's proud. There are people who, when they become professors, they wear suits, they wear nice clothes, they want to behave like the Europeans and the Wazungus. But I am happy that the identity and the culture that Senator Boni Khalwale displayed that day was very unique, and it taught some of us the value and the role of the culture, Madam Speaker. And I hope, because under fourth schedule, Madam Speaker, one of the roles of county governments under the fourth schedule is cultural activities. And I hope as Senator Kalwale becomes the governor of Kakamega, he should be able to anchor the role of cultural activities within the Mulembe nation and Kakamega. We don't want to see people, Madam Speaker, you know, these functions of our people, the culture, is dependent on the handouts, is dependent on politics. We want, when he has a bullfighting in Malinya, Madam Speaker, in Malinya, in Kakamega, that should be owned and funded by the taxpayers, because it is our identity. Why should it depend on the goodwill of individuals? I hope that is the bullfighting. We have seen even in Vihiga, Madam Speaker, those ceremonies being done. Madam Speaker, you remember even when we lost Kijana wa Malwa, and many other aspects, Madam Speaker, you could see. I think the funeral ceremony shows more. And Madam Speaker, you are aware we also lost the former Prime Minister, Raila Odinga. We still condole with the family, and we know this is the leader that we have ever had. And you know, many people visited Jaramogi Kakango. And even us, as a community, we had to take cows to celebrate or to mourn with the family, Madam Speaker. And we were told, and I know I met the Mulembe nation. I don't know, I saw Senator Kalwale came after to condole with the family. And when we were told, Madam Speaker, to take the cows or the cattle to mourn, we were supposed to go chanting, saying, Joey, 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 Madam Speaker. So we had to, and a spear, Madam Speaker, and some regalia. And we were told that is Teroburo or something, Madam Speaker. We were doing that. I don't know, I know Senator Kalwale is an expert. And I hope, Madam Speaker, it is possible in our standing orders to amend and use, instead of debating, we use even a show, or we dramatize. This bill would be better explained by the senator of Kakamega. We would have allowed him to perform what he just performed a few months ago so that we can understand. But I'm saying, even in my culture, whenever young people are going to the
Are you sure you want that torch he was holding to come to the Senate? Anyway, proceed.
But I'm saying, but my only worry is that I never knew there is a culture where had known a torch. You know, that's the only thing I wanted to ask Senator Kalwala, is that I have not had time to sit with him. But by the time, Madam Speaker, if I'm not wrong, Senator Kalwale, through the Speaker, I thought that torch is now off. Is it off with some individuals? Maybe he will tell us when he will be supporting the bill. Because he was carrying the torch, and he said he was exposing the killer. So I hope, or the torch is still on. I'm told by the time it's switched off with individuals who might have committed that offense, Madam Speaker. Even in my culture, Madam Speaker, we have initiation ceremonies, we have weddings, we have rituals, Madam Speaker. You have seen in our cultures, whenever somebody loses or in some sense you steal, Madam Speaker, you have seen even in areas where somebody steals and there are some rituals performed, people are killed, there are rituals that are performed. These are part and culture of our society. Even as we have elaborate, I think all the African cultures have elaborate. To be a man in my culture, you have to have gone to the ceremony of the home or the traditional initiation ceremony. There are stages, life stages of a man. When you are, or a woman, when you are being born, Madam Speaker, there is a stage, you are given a name, identity, which is recognized by the Constitution. There are process that is performed. We have mixed Christianity or religion with culture, Madam Speaker, and you are aware. Because when we are being born in the villages, my name essentially, for example, means, my real name, Kiprotich, means that I was born in the evening, like now when the cows were being brought home. So everything, and one of your clerks, Cherop, was born when it is rainy season like this. So it has a meaning. It has a particular meaning. And I think all names, even where you come from, although it's more matriarchal society, House of Mumbi, Nyumba Mumbi, Andoa Itu, Nyumba Mumbi, the famous Mount Kenya, they are associated. When you go to Western, they have elaborate ways, and that one is developing. Madam Speaker, and I think, Madam Speaker, as I go to the fourth point, because I have only 6 points, is that I think the African values and cultures were very good. Because one, when you go through initiation ceremony, you are taught how to be responsible, especially in my culture. How to be a man, how to take care of a home, how to take care of cows, how to behave decently, how to be respectful. In fact, in my culture, respect is equated to many things, and quote unquote, Madam Speaker, is respect is equated to a cow because it symbolizes life, Madam Speaker. They quote unquote, that is what they normally say, Madam Speaker. To translate loosely, respect is equal to a cow, which is a symbol of respect and life. So essentially, those values. Now we are being told we are Western. You know, you could not see even, Madam Speaker, even this culture that come upon, like, for example, what we are seeing, LGBTQ, the issue of gayism, the issue of lesbianism, Madam Speaker, it was never there in our culture. Because as we respect sanctity of life, Madam Speaker, we know family, and I'm happy this Constitution says family is between a man and a woman. The degeneration of values of society is courtesy that we have imported too much on the Western culture, beliefs and ideas and values until we have thrown away. That is why you are seeing issues that we have never seen. And I agree with President Museveni. Because he asked a question, if you are gay, if there is a proof that you can come up with life, then he will allow gayism in Uganda. You have seen a West Africa country, or was it Senegal, that they have now introduced 10 years. These are alien values that were never there, Madam Speaker. Because how can a man leave beautiful ladies and girls and women and go for another man, which we have never, it is not part of the culture that we are talking about, Madam Speaker. So counties, also we must call. I don't want when the people of Mount Kenya, I've read the book Facing Mount Kenya, and I was reading the book, It's Our Turn to Eat by John Kitongo. There's another one, Facing Mount Kenya, Madam Speaker. We want, when the House of Mumbi wants to meet, there is a legal framework. They can engage. We can ensure the values are protected. Madam Speaker, I hope one day we will have a library that the children of House of Mumbi can go and study about the Kikuyu. Can go to Koitalel, Madam Speaker, you are aware. We have Koitalel Mausoleum in Nandi Hills, Nandi Hills Town, Nandi County. My people of Nandi can go and study the values, the beliefs, the ceremonies, the rituals that the people of Nandi believed in. Equally to other Kalenjin sub-tribes, equally to the Mulembe Nation, the Luyas. Madam Speaker, they can go and study what do they believe in. And when you look clearly at those value system of our communities, Madam Speaker, you will be surprised that there are more order. There was order age group. Madam Speaker, even in my culture, there is age sets. Madam Speaker, for example, me, I'm an age set of Kimnyike. The president is an age set of Kablelajek, which initiated some of us. There is my father age group is called, the name is disappearing, Kablelaj. There is also the Kimnyike. So that age set ensure there is respect. And that is why whenever we engage, you cannot go beyond your elder in terms of the age set. And I think also the Mulembe Nation, the Akikuyu, among other communities, even to the coastal communities, even northern part, Madam Speaker. So this issue of culture, we need also to recognize the role of cultural persons, the custodians. Madam Speaker, we struggle. When wazee, old men and women, who are the custodian of culture, and I'm happy, I think Meru have a very elaborate Njurinjeke, the Kikuyu and Nyumba itu, they have also a house of elders or house, people who are custodians of the practitioner of the traditions. When you go to Western Mulembe Nation, they have also their leaders. When you go to, in fact, in Northern Kenya, it is interesting. They are the ones who decide who becomes a leader in that particular community. Even in my culture, there is Miot Council of Elders. Those Kalenjin, the law recognizes that them are called cultural practitioners. So that, Madam Speaker, we also, these people also, some of them are professional, some of them participate in circumcision, in rituals and many others, so that they can be recognized and be able to ensure the protection of manuscripts, buildings and architectural designs, products of archaeological excavation. There is a place in Nandi called Sheu, somewhere, Madam Speaker, in Nandi Hills. Madam Speaker, it is interesting that when you are gotten too old and you think death has forgotten you, when you are too old, you can't move, you can't eat, you no longer have teeth. We had a place in Nandi Hills called Shau. So when you think death has forgotten about you, you request to be taken and then be thrown over the cliff and then you die. Those are some of the places that you needed to protect for historical purposes. And we can, archaeological excavations, artistic and historical monuments, buildings. My only unnatural designs, my only problem I have in this country, Madam Speaker, have you noticed, everybody wants to bring down any old building, not knowing the value of that historical building. We need to ensure that we, like the archives. Archives, Madam Speaker, is a structural monument within Nairobi. I've seen there's I don't know whether it's a bad habit or same, but where Kenyans want to destroy something that belongs in the past, it can be part of our heritage. It can be part of cultural, historical site, Madam Speaker. So we need to preserve these buildings. And I want to go to Kakamega today, where Senator Boni Kalwale can go and see a house, how the Mulembe Nation used to live in the 40s, in the 30s, even same to Kalenjin, to Kikuyus. This modernity, Madam Speaker, will make us lose our aspects of who we are. And I think, Madam Speaker, on the rare collections, we need also to ensure ethnological. I'm just rushing through because it's quite elaborate. You know, culture is elaborate, Madam Speaker. There is the issue of articles of furniture, musical instruments, like Nyatiti, Madam Speaker, the ones we use to sing. There is the blowing of horn. I remember you have been a Secretary General of many political successful parties. And coincidentally, most of the political parties that you have been Secretary General have gone ahead to form government. You remember URP, we had a horn as a sign of the symbol of the political party. So it is very important, Madam Speaker, as I second on the issue of management of culture, this ministry will develop the gender ministry will develop national policy, promotion of diverse cultures, cultural heritage and cultural property, including protection, safeguarding, preservation, conservation, like even Kibalel Court auction, Madam Speaker. That Kibalel Court auction should be gazetted as something historical by the Kenya museums of Kenya. Should be able to do that, Madam Speaker. I know thank God we have Ministry of Gender, Social Services and Culture. Those are factored, Madam Speaker. Standards and regulation and cultural management of national, that is clause number 5, Madam Speaker, for members who are following. We need also to have a collection and study on how some of these issues can be done, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I agree, you and me as a senior lawyer, and I don't know when you'll be given to be the senior counsel. I don't know, you should by now be awarded to be the senior counsel. We need also to ensure that the supremacy of the Constitution, that if this bill does not excuse what we call repugnant to moral justice, like for example, FGM, the female genital mutilation, Madam Speaker, this issue of female genital mutilation, FGM, cannot be part of such a culture because they are repugnant, they undermine the human rights, they undermine the rule of law. So I want to bring an exception, Madam Speaker, that this bill has captured is that it will not recognize cultural value or cultural practice that is repugnant to moral justice. And I've used example like FGM, female genital mutilation. Madam Speaker, the issue of export and import of inventory cultural property. Madam Speaker, you remember, as I conclude, there was a time that when Koitalel Samoei was killed, you remember the British took the Koitalel Samoei regalia. It was after when President Kibaki came into power 2003 that the regalia and the artifacts of the late Koitalel Samoei came back, that those were brought back. So we need anything, any artifacts, any regalia that was illegally taken by the British government to the United Kingdom be returned back. Why would you go to London to go and look for artifacts that belong to some of the communities? We need to bring those so that we can preserve in museum parts. And then finally, members, there is the issue of import and export of artifacts that belongs to our cultures. And I'm happy the law has ensured that this cannot be done or transfer cultural property without the approval of the government. That is another exemption I wanted committees to do. There is the issue of research. The Cabinet Secretary must develop a database to ensure that we research extensively on the cultural issues. There is the issue of, Madam Speaker, the issue of licensing. And finally, the offenses, penalties. I think I'm happy that it is 1 million. If you violate some of these, like fraud, like exporting, like transfer, like selling a cultural property, Madam Speaker, stealing of cultural property and any activity, the fine will be 1 million or 5 years in prison or both, which is very important. Using images without consent. We have seen people writing even books without the consent of who they are, Madam Speaker, and even the licensing, research, doing the research. We have seen documentaries in NATO Geo, National Geographic Television. I normally see them running stories about Samburu without even telling us whether they have permission to do research and broadcast and film some of those issues. So this has captured, Madam Speaker, in a nutshot. This culture bill is very important. It's part of the Constitution. It is recognized in the role of the Constitution in Article 1 and also in the 4th schedule that cultural practices is a devolved function. And in as much as it's a National Assembly bill, we are ready to pass, Madam Speaker, so that we can create a legal framework. And I'm happy, Madam Speaker, I hope during a report writing by Labour, they should invite different groups of Wazee from every community so that they can share. And I'm happy Senator Mundegi is in the House. He might also share with us the issue of Embu. But, Madam Speaker, when you will give Senator Boni Khalwale, can we allow him to give us 1 to 2 minutes demonstration on what he was doing and how to celebrate the heroes, the death in their community? Possible the Secretariat can provide him with a torch, then he can be able to demonstrate and show us what needs to be done. With those many remarks, Madam Speaker, I beg to second this culture bill, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Cherargei. Honorable Senators, I propose the question that the Culture Bill, National Assembly Bills number 12 of 2024, be now read a second time. Honorable Senator, you can resume your seat. I am not sure we can grant that request of the torch being introduced into the Senate, as it could quickly turn into a weapon of serious destruction within Senate. So we might not have that. But let me now take this chance to give Senator Boni Halwale to give his contribution on this bill.